what is a virtual open house, you ask? So instead of going to the property necessarily and having people walk through the property, you're gonna do a completely virtual open house through Facebook Live. These are open house events that you're doing depending on how you do this, because there's two ways to do this. You can do these right from your house. You never even have to leave your home, or you can do them at the seller's house, but no actual human being walks through the property. So they are much easier to do, and you're gonna see that today. That's number one. Number two, they're a lot more scalable. So we have agents at our company that they were doing 3-4 open houses per week last year in 2021, and they did extremely well with their business in 2021. But it was a lot of work. You know, some open houses go great. Sometimes you'll get, 10 people through there, 8 people through there, 12 people through there. That's decent. How about having 100 people at your open houses? How about generating 30, 40, 50 buyer leads, seller leads, all for free, all from home, right? So it's a lot more scalable. Reason number 3 why I like the virtual open house, it's a new lead generation tactic or strategy no agents are doing at all. I don't ever see these at all. We started doing these last year, and then a couple people started trying to do them, but it's very rare to see other agents do this. So lead generation specifically, let me give you a couple ideas. Certainly, if a house is listed for sale, whether it be your listing or one of the listings here at our company, you can hold that property open, and you can drive leads from buyers and sellers in the local community. That's one way to do it. There's another way to generate leads using this strategy. I like to use the virtual open house strategy to secure new listings. Here's what I mean. How many of you right now have sellers who say, if you have a buyer, bring them by and I'll sell. Otherwise, Brooke, I'm not interested in listing my house for sale. How many of you? Tons. How many of you have sellers that say, let's wait until spring to sell my house? You should have a ton of those too. Well, imagine a world you could go and call all of those folks today and say, hey, Mr. and Mrs. Seller, I have a win-win. And you could take all of those off-market properties and do a virtual open house event on all of those properties. This helps you to get just that much closer to securing that new listing when that seller is ready to list their property. So from a lead generation standpoint, they are working extremely well. When you do the virtual open house, I'm going to show you how to do it here in just a second. When you do the virtual open house and people register on your Facebook event, those are all your prospects. So how many of you, some of you are better than others, have a tough time getting people to sign in at your old traditional open house? Sometimes it's great. Other times it's like, man, why are these people such jerks? Why don't you just sign in? Well, the virtual open house takes that completely away. Because as you guys know, or maybe you don't know, when you do a Facebook event, hopefully most of you know what I'm talking about. There's a little button on there that says going, not going, or maybe. You know what I'm talking about? Those are all your open house sign-ins. So all of those people then become your prospects and people you get to follow up with after your open house event. And it makes it really simple. Facebook makes it very simple. All those people that register for your event, you could just send them all a message after the event. We'll talk about that in just a second. Okay, so reason number 3 you would want to do these is from a lead generation standpoint, it may be the single tactic or strategy you employ in 2022 that really helps to take your business to the next level. Next thing I have on my list is servicing your sellers, okay? A virtual open house you can, because they're so much easier to do and there's so much more, there's so much better on your time, you could do a couple virtual open house events per week. So talk about servicing your seller and making your seller happy. I mean, this is a great way to service your seller, okay? And then the other thing I want to talk about is we talked a little bit about these being more effective because you can get so many more people at your virtual open houses than you can at your traditional in-person open houses. But what about your personal brand? Imagine a world for a second. You, after this training, you say, ding, 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 this is a strategy for me. I can do this. And you start doing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 virtual open houses on Facebook Live per week in the city in which you serve, how many eyeballs you will start to attract because you're the only agent doing virtual open houses. Let me let you in on a little secret that all real estate agents hopefully should know. People's like, in this country, it's a hobby for them to look at real estate. If you could be on Facebook Live 4 or 5 times a week doing virtual open houses, you will absolutely blow up your personal brand. I guarantee it. Because like we mentioned earlier on, how many of you are doing virtual open houses? Oh yeah, that's right, 0. So if you start to do it, you have a real opportunity to build your personal brand. So let's get into how you do this, okay? The first thing we need to do is we need to create a Facebook event, okay? So I'm going to walk you literally through how to do this. So when you're in Facebook, if you hit events, which is right here on the side navigation, we're going to go ahead and hit create new event. And what we want to do is, and these are recorded, so you guys can go back and watch this training as well. You want to do an online event, not an in-person event. We want to create an online event, and you could just, event type, you could just leave as general. All right, and so what we want to do under event name is we want to put the property address in here, okay? 123 Main Street, virtual open house. Now, you want to schedule these out a couple days in advance. Like, you don't want to like create the event and then go live in Facebook in an hour from now. You want to have enough time where you can promote this. You can even do some paid advertising in Facebook events now. So you could put $10 or $20 and boost this Facebook event in the local city. Like, so if you wanted to do one in Rochester or Livonia or Clarkston, you can do a radius right in that city of Rochester, put $10 or $20 into boosting the Facebook event, and you can hit every single homeowner in Rochester for like 10 bucks, 20 bucks. And so I don't know about you, but to try to get every single homeowner in one city at your traditional open house, virtually impossible. Here, you can. Okay, so
that's awesome.
Isn't that awesome, Matt? So it's
awesome.
Really good opportunity. So from a start date perspective, I like to push these out, okay? At least 3 days into the future, okay? So let's talk about the days and times on when you want to do these. You can have great success if you do these during the week. Remember, you're doing this from your house. So you're not driving around because this, like, that goes away. So if you do them during the week, you need to do them in the evening where people are home from work after dinner. So evening virtual open house events need to be at like 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock, something like that, where people are on the couch addicted to their phone, just like all of you are, right? After you get done with dinner, you guys are all just attached to that thing. Don't lie, don't you are. And if they're on the weekend, early morning. Same thing. When you wake up on Saturday or Sunday morning, all of you, I already know, don't lie, you're just sitting there scrolling on Facebook, right? So that's when you want to do your virtual open houses. So let's pretend we're going to do this one Saturday morning. The start time we want to make this, we're going to start this at 8 a.m. Again, these are virtual, so it's really easy to do. To set the privacy, you want these to be public. We want these to be absolutely public, okay? You want people to share this. You want to post this on your personal page, your business page. You want people to share that like crazy. Then we're gonna go ahead and hit next. Now, it's saying, hey, choose a way for people to join your event online. You wanna click Facebook Live, okay? And so when you get to the day of your actual event, you don't even have to have a StreamYard or a Zoom like this where I'm sharing my screen. You don't have to do any of that. All you have to do is go into your event and hit go live in Facebook, and anybody that has a computer or a phone can do this. So I'm gonna go ahead and hit next. All right, now under description, this is where I would put the property description, okay? So I'm just gonna put that in here right now. Property description goes here. And then we're gonna hit next. And then a cover photo, okay? Here's what I want you guys to do. Let me pull this down. If you don't already, you should have a Canva account. If you're gonna be in real estate, you should have an account like in Canva, all right? So I already created this just for the sake of time, but I would have a picture of the front of the house, and then you could put our logo there, and then just put virtual open house event, and then when the event's going to be. And then we're gonna go ahead and just download this to my computer right now. And then I'll upload that to my Facebook event so you guys can see how this is done. All right, so that goes there.
Brandon, there's even a template in Canva for event cover like this, right?
Absolutely. Yep, yeah. Absolutely. So you guys can just click.
Real simple.
Really, really simple. There's templates already in there. So let me go back to Facebook. So I'm just gonna upload now a cover photo. Go to my downloads. What did I save that under? Virtual open house event. Pop that in there. All right, so there's so now my event's starting to look nice and professional. And now when I'm in here, before I hit publish event, and I'm not going to hit publish event today because I don't want this to go out everywhere live, but what you can do is when you hit invite right here, after you publish the event and you hit invite, you can send this out to your entire friends list with one click of a button. So that's the first thing that you want to do when you start to promote this, okay? The other thing that I would highly recommend that you do is after you hit publish event, again, I would boost this. So I would put $10 or $15 or $20 into this so you can get all the people in that city that are interested in buying a home, interested in coming to your virtual open house event. Those all become your leads. That is how you generate a lead through the virtual open house event. So once you're done with your Facebook event, you can promote that, right? Like you want everybody to share that like crazy people. The next thing you're gonna do, there's two ways to actually host your virtual open house event, okay? You can do a Matterport video shot, which is what I'm gonna show you, or you can go to the house. You need somebody else to pull this off. And with the phone, they follow you around on Facebook Live. So no one's coming to the house. They've got you and a buddy, you and another agent, you and a friend, you and a spouse. They're following you around the house as you're giving a tour of the property. But to make this even easier, if you can get a Matterport video shoot of the property, it makes it even easier to do. You don't even have to leave your house. And this is how I do them. So if your budget allows for you to do this, I think our Matterport from Windows Still, which is the company we use, I think they're like $250. So if that fits inside your budget, you should be able to generate a lot of leads from doing these. So I think it's well worth it. Then I would do the Matterport. So the day you go live, okay, in Facebook Live now, it allows you to share your screen like I'm doing right now. You were never able to do that, and now you can. So just like any open house, you guys, when we open this up, this is how the day of the event goes. So when I start that Facebook Live, the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to introduce myself, right? Hey, this is Brandon Mulrenin with Brookstone Realtors. Good to meet you guys. Welcome to my virtual open house event. Today we're looking at 123 Main Street, right downtown Clarkston, and tell them where it's located, the neighborhood, the streets in which it's located, and give them a little, set the stage for all the people watching, okay? Now, just here's a little pro tip. I had to learn this the hard way. Because you're on Facebook Live, and hopefully you got a lot of people watching you, you got a lot of people commenting, don't try to go back and forth with your home tour and engaging with the audience. Let the audience know up front, Karen, that after you get done doing the tour of the home, you'll then go back and answer all of the questions in the comments section of the Facebook Live. So after my introduction, the next thing I do is I say, so here's how today's event's gonna go. I'm gonna walk you guys through this beautiful, beautiful home. And as I'm doing that, feel free to use the comment section to ask me questions about the property. Anything you guys wanna know. I'd be happy to answer those as soon as I am done giving you guys the tour, because I want to make sure I focus and give you guys the best virtual tour that I possibly can. Now, before I go through this Matterport demonstration, how many of you right now on the live training are using Matterport in your everyday listing business right now? And this is the best use case that I've ever seen for Matterport ever, which is what I'm about to show you. I think when somebody came up with this idea, I think this is what it was designed to do. But again, very, very few agents are using this. So now imagine a world, I'm saying, okay, so let's start off right here in the living room. And I'm showing the client or all my prospects the entire home, right? And I'm walking them through this property just like I'm doing with you right now. So I spend usually about 15 or 20 minutes walking people through the property. Like, and I'm going through every inch of the house. I'm not going to do that right now with you guys, but like I'm going upstairs, I'm going downstairs. Watch, I'm showing them the dollhouse view of the house. I'm showing them floor plans of the house. Like, I'm going through the entire property. I would make the argument that I can give a better representation of my client's home or the seller's home doing this than I can actually in person, because the people watching are also at home. They're comfortable at home. So that's why I like to do this so much. So I can go back into the property and walk them through the home. Now, everybody that's doing this, they're all going to be asking questions, like I said, okay? So after I get done, then I start to engage with the audience, right? Say, hey, Brooke, hey, Mark, welcome, welcome, welcome. And then I can start answering the questions at the end. And then after I get through my entire home tour, I start to ask for people to, my call to action is to ask people to schedule a private showing with me.
There you go.
Right? So I'll either do that in the actual live stream, or after I'm done, I will send every single participant a private message thanking them for coming to my virtual open house event and asking them if they would like to schedule a private in-person showing of the home, or what feedback they had that I could share with the seller. This then allows me to start having conversations to determine, do I have a prospect here? And let me tell you guys something real quick. The first time I did this, I actually got more seller leads than I did buyer leads, because people that were thinking about selling their home had never thought and never heard of a virtual open house. Certainly the agents they were talking to never brought it up ever, not once. And so they were so impressed with my virtual open house that we got, I think, 3 or 4 listing leads that we should be securing this spring out of doing this. And I think you guys will find the same thing. Certainly you'll get a lot of buyer traffic for sure. And remember, it's so easy to generate the lead because people are hitting that little interested button on your Facebook event, and then you could turn right back around and send them all private messages.